It started with a trash can, then a garden gnome, then her silver Lexus parked diagonally across my driveway, again, blocking me from leaving for my daughter's surgery. Diane Holloway didn't just enforce HOA rules, she lived by her own. "Unapproved potted herbs," she'd say. "You're violating curb appeal." But when she blocked me that morning, phone in hand, smirking as I honked in panic, something snapped. I didn't scream. I didn't call the cops. I went inside. And I pulled out the paperwork. Because I wasn't just a homeowner. I was the land use attorney who helped draft the original easement laws. And I knew a secret. Her driveway and her parking rights were built on a revocable access agreement. One complaint, one violation, one technicality. And her car wouldn't just be towed, it would vanish, legally, permanently, and when she came screaming to my door demanding answers, I smiled. "Your car didn't disappear, Diane. You did." Ethan Cole moved to Oak Ridge Estates for peace, not power struggles. He wanted a quiet yard for his daughter Mia, who lived with him after her mother passed. He planted lavender, built a small greenhouse, and always paid his HOA fees on time. But Diane Holloway, president of the HOA, saw his garden not as beauty, but as rebellion. "Unapproved plant species," she declared. Then, "excessive mulch." Then, "unauthorized solar panel." Each violation carried a $250 fine. Ethan paid, hoping it would stop. It didn't. Then came the driveway wars. Every other week, her Lexus would accidentally block his exit, especially when he had appointments. Once, she left a trash can in the way for 20 minutes. Another time, a HOA inspection sign nailed to his gatepost. Ethan filmed it all, calmly. He didn't confront her. He studied. He read the HOA bylaws, then the county zoning codes, then the original land deed. And that's when he found it, the easement clause. All driveways in Phase 3, including Diane's, were built on shared access land, subject to revocation if used for harassment or obstruction. He didn't act, not yet. He waited. Because the best revenge isn't loud, it's legal, and it's permanent. Ethan started a log, June 12, Lexus blocking driveway, 7:45, 8:20 a.m., missed Mia's therapy session, June 19, garden gnome placed in driveway, accidental, June 26, HOA survey sign nailed to gate, removed by Ethan, fined $300. He, filed an appeal. Denied, Then, he discovered something bigger, he pulled satellite images from Google Earth, monthly, going back 2 years, Every time he complained, Diane retaliated, every time he won a small victory. She escalated, one image showed her car parked across his driveway for 11 hours straight. While she napped inside, another, a contractor hired by the HOA inspecting his greenhouse. Without permission, Ethan sent a formal complaint to the board, harassment via property obstruction. No response, Then, at the next meeting, Diane smiled. "We've all had our cars blocked. It's not a crime." A man raised his hand. "I had to detour through the woods once, but I didn't make a fuss." Ethan stood. "It's not about one block. It's about a pattern. And under Section 8.4 of the County Code, repeated obstruction of a private easement can trigger access revocation." Diane laughed. "You're not a lawyer." "I am," Ethan said. "And I specialize in land use." The room fell silent. Diane's smile faded, But she didn't stop, If anything, she got bolder. It was 6:47 a.m. Mia was in the back seat, pale, clutching her medical bag. Her surgery was at 8 o'clock, 45 minutes away. Ethan backed up to leave, And there it was, Diane's silver Lexus, parked diagonally across his driveway, again, he honked, She stepped onto her porch, phone in hand. "I'll move when I'm ready." He called the police. My driveway's blocked. I have a medical emergency. They arrived in 12 minutes. Ma'am, you can't block a private easement, the officer said. It's a misunderstanding, Diane said sweetly. I'm just backing up. She didn't. She took a photo of his greenhouse, evidence of rule violation. The officers couldn't force her to move, but they documented it. Ethan drove around, lost 28 minutes. They made. It barely. Mia looked at him. Dad, why does she hate us? He didn't answer, because he wasn't angry anymore. He was ready. That night, he filed a formal complaint with the County Land Use Board. Attached 14 satellite images, 7 police reports, witness statements, his law license, and the key, request for revocation of revocable access rights, Section 8.4, B. The county had 10 days to respond. Diane didn't know, but she would. 7 days later, a certified letter arrived at Diane's door. Not from Ethan. From the County Office of Land and Easements. Subject, Notice of Access Revocation, parcel hash HO4472, Holloway Residence. Effective immediately, her right to use. The shared access lane, the only way in and out of her garage, was revoked due to repeated obstruction of a private easement. She called the county. This is a mistake. No mistake, the clerk said. You were warned. You continued. The law applies, she called the HOA board. Reverse this. They couldn't. This wasn't an HOA rule. It was county law. The next morning, a tow truck arrived. Not for Ethan, for her. Her Lexus sat in her garage, but she couldn't drive it out. The access lane was now private property, owned by the community trust, managed by the county. And she was banned from using it. She stood in her driveway, screaming, Neighbors watched. Some film. One said, You blocked me last month. I said nothing. Another, My son missed school because of you. Diane called. A lawyer. He reviewed the case. You lost, he said. The evidence is solid. The law is clear. She demanded Ethan did it. He didn't file it, the lawyer said. The system did. You did. At the next HOA meeting, Diane demanded Ethan be punished. He orchestrated this, she shouted. Ethan stood. Calm. I filed a legal complaint. That's my right. You're not even a real lawyer. He opened his briefcase. Pulled out his bar license. His firm's letterhead, a signed affidavit from the county. Ethan Cole, Eskimar, assisted in drafting the original easement and access ordinance for Oak Ridge Estates in 2008. The room gasped. He didn't just know the law. He helped. Write it. Diane turned pale. You knew, someone whispered. I suspected, Ethan said. But I didn't act until she endangered my daughter. A woman stood. She blocked my ambulance pickup last year. I didn't report it. Another. She said my dog was unapproved. I rehomed him. The board voted that night. Dissolve. Diane's presidency audit, all fines issued in the last 3 years, install neutral access monitoring, and one final motion passed unanimously. No vehicle may block another's driveway for more than 10 minutes without written notice. Diane didn't. Stay for the vote. She walked out. But the story didn't end there. Diane tried to sell. But no one would buy. The property had no legal access. A realtor told her, without an easement, it's landlocked, uninsurable, unmortgageable. She offered to lease the lane back. The county said no. She appealed. Denied. Then comma. She tried to drive out, through the lawn, over the curb. Neighbors called the police. Towed again. $500 fine. She parked her car in a neighbor's driveway. Offered. $200 a week. They reported her. Fined again. Finally, comma. She filed a lawsuit. The judge reviewed the evidence. Repeated documented obstruction. Medical emergency involved. Legal process followed. Ruling. Defendant's access rights remain revoked. No injunction granted. She lost. completely. And then the final blow. The county auctioned the access lane to a community trust, funded by residents. No individual could claim it. No favoritism, just fairness. Diane's car sat in her garage, monument to her own arrogance. And every time she walked past it, she saw the sticker Ethan had left on her door. Parking is a privilege. Respect is required. 1 year later, Ethan still lives in Oak Ridge. The greenhouse thrives. Mia's health has improved. In the driveway, always clear. Diane moved, quietly, in the middle of the night. No farewell. No apology. But the neighborhood changed. The trust now manages access. Cameras monitor obstructions. And the old fines. Replaced with mediation. One evening, Ethan found a note in his mailbox. Thank you. She blocked my son's wheelchair ramp for 3 days. No one helped. You change that. He smiled. Justice wasn't about revenge. It was about balance. And sometimes the best way to stop a bully isn't with noise, but with law. With patience. And with a single irreversible decision. Now, comma. When he leaves in the morning, he doesn't check his driveway. He just drives. Free. Peaceful. And finally unblocked.